One of the most important things about studying exchange rate is that it has an impact on the prices of exports and imports. So let's take a look at how exchange rates have an impact on what our country is able to export abroad and the cost of importing goods into our country. Let's look at a problem. Here we have an American-made car that costs $25,000 in the United States, and the exchange rate is 23.5 rubles per US dollar. What is the price of the car in Moscow? The first thing is to notice is that we're dealing with dollars. Since we're starting out with dollars, that is $25,000, we will need to use the formulas to calculate the price in Moscow using US dollars times the exchange rate. Our next step is to substitute in the price of the American-made car, which is $25,000, into the formula for where we see US dollars. Next, we're going to locate the exchange rate, which is 23.5 rubles per US dollar, and we will need to substitute it in for the exchange rate in the formula. So we would substitute in 23.5 rubles into the formula. Next, we'd multiply $25,000 times 23.5 rubles per dollar, and this gives us 587,500 rubles. So our $25,000 car in the United States costs a Russian car buyer 587,500 rubles in Moscow. Now let's see what happens when the US dollar appreciates. Our dollar appreciates to 30 rubles per dollar. So how much is that $25,000 car in the United States going to cost the Russian buyer in Moscow? Well, we're going to work through the same formula. This time we'll use US dollars times the exchange rate. We'll substitute in $25,000 into the formula for US dollars. We will substitute in 30 rubles per dollar in for the exchange rate. We will multiply $25,000 times 30 rubles, and that will give us 750,000 rubles. The key thing to notice here, if we compare the costs in the United States and Russia, notice that the price in the United States has remained the same. That is $25,000 when the exchange rate is 23.5 rubles, and it is still $25,000 when the exchange rate is 30 rubles per dollar. However, notice that the price in Russia changes. So when the exchange rate is 23.5 rubles, the price in Russia is 587,500 rubles. And this will increase to 750,000 when there are 30 rubles per dollar. So notice that while the price of the car has remained the same in the United States, the price of the car increases in Russia due to the appreciation of the US dollar. A similar sort of thing will happen to things that we import.